Hello everyone. Let's quickly understand the OOPS concept, that is object-oriented programming concept, in just 4 minutes. So what we will discuss, we'll discuss what is OOPS concept, what are the core OOPS concept with examples, what benefit we will get with OOPS concept. That what we are going to discuss in just 4 minutes. So what is OOPS? OOPS is a way to write code by organizing it around objects. So instead of keeping focus on the data and the function, we are going to keep focus on object are nothing but real world things. So objects have data and behavior. This will make our code easier to understand. So what are the core OOPS concepts? So basically OOPS provide four important concepts. What are these concepts? Let us try to understand. One of the important concept is encapsulation. What do you mean by encapsulation? Encapsulation meaning it's going to group the data and the method that work on the data into one single unit. That single unit is going to be called as a class. So this will hide internal details and protects the object state from statement in the sense data from outside interference, right? So let us try to understand this with some example. Suppose you are having your mobile phone or smartphone. In your smartphone, you are keeping or you are storing your data in the sense you can put some video, you can put some image, some file. So nobody can access this data directly. If someone wants to access, then you have to use some kind of applications in the sense Facebook applications, Instagram applications. Similarly, if you took another bank account example, your balance, your money is the data which needs to be private. Why we are making the data as private? Because no one can access this data. I mean, unauthorized, to restrict unauthorized access. And how you can perform operation on your data like withdraw and deposit? For that purpose, we need to expose some kind of a public method. So using those public method, we can access the data. If you take the example, so this is a very simple bank account class. Inside this class, I'm creating this balance variable as a private variable, and this private variable means what? From outside of this bank account class, no one can access this variable. No one can access this data. Then how to access this data? To access this data, we need to create some method. That method needs to be public. So here you can see deposit, withdraw, and get balance method. So using deposit and withdraw method, we can perform the deposit and withdraw operation. And if you want to check your balance, then you have to call this get balance. So this is nothing but the example of encapsulation. So the bank account class hide the balance field and control it via deposit, withdraw, and get balance method. So now let us try to understand the second example, that is second OOPS concept, that is abstraction. Abstraction meaning is what? It means it hides the complexity of your code. Means what? Now, for example, if you are defining one method, so how that method is implemented, why should I expose these details to the caller of that method? Instead, what I need to expose, how to call that method. What is the method name? What is the input parameter? What is the output parameter? In simple word, we can say abstraction means providing the method signature to the caller of the method instead of giving access to how that method is implemented. So this will reduce the complexity and makes it easier to use objects without knowing everything inside. For example, you are having one car and you want to drive the car. For driving the car, you know right how to drive the car. But do you know how the engine is going to work? No. That is not necessary. Similarly, if you are using some microwave event, right, you just need to set the timer and press the start button. You don't see or interact the complex heating mechanism which is going on behind the scene. So this is nothing but abstraction. If you take the example, so there is a class called vehicle. So inside the vehicle class, you can see we are only defining the method signature of the start method. So what is the input parameter? For this example, we are not taking any input parameter. What is the output? Output in the sense the return type. So that is what we need to expose. And this is the actual car class. And this car class inherited, or you can say implementing this vehicle abstract class. So here we are providing the actual implementation. So as a color, right, who is going to consume my application? We need to expose this vehicle. They need to create an instance of any of the implementer class. They need to store that instance in the vehicle class, and they need to call the start method. And they will not aware about how the start method is working. Behind the scene, when they invoke that internal logic, whatever we have written, that is going to be executed. So vehicle is an abstract class hiding the implementation details, only exposing the start method Exposing the start method means only exposing the method signature. So here we are using an abstract class to implement abstraction. We have also another concept called what I can say interface. So using interface also we can achieve the same level of abstraction. The next concept is inheritance. So it is one of the important OOPS concepts. So this allows a new class to reuse properties and behavior of an existing class. Suppose you are having an existing class. So some of the method are defined. And the same set of a method you need to use in other classes. So why we should repeat the same method and logic in other classes? So instead of repeating the same logic, what we can do, we can create a new class and take the functionality from the existing class. For example, if you are having a hidden car, which is inherited from the car is a class, hidden is a class. The car class provides some feature. The same feature we want in the hidden class, plus we want some additional features. Then in that case, what we need to do, we need to create the car class with the basic functionality. We need to create the hidden car, which is going to inherit it from the car class. So whatever the unique feature related to hidden, that what we need to provide here. But now using this hidden car instance, I can not only access this method play music, but I can also access the start method. So this is nothing but inheritance. Inheritance means inheriting the existing feature from an existing class. So polymorphism, this is the last OOPS concept. It means many for. Many for means one and the same action, or you can say the same method, can behave differently depending on which object you are using to call the method. For object 1, the same method is going to perform operation 1. For object 2, the same method is going to perform operation 2. So let us understand this with an example. For example, we are having this vehicle class. That vehicle class is inherited by the car class. Here we are providing the start method. So if I'm creating the car class instance and if I invoke the start method, this method is going to execute. But again, I'm creating a motorcycle class inherited. This class is also inherited from the vehicle class, and here also I'm providing implementation for the start method. That means the same start method can behave differently based on the object on which it is being invoked. For example, if I invoke the start method using the motorcycle class, this method implementation is going to be executed. Similarly, if I call the start method using the car class instance, then this method implementation is going to be used, right? That means the same method can behave differently based on the object on which it is being invoked, right? So let us understand all these things with a simple example. So this is the same bank account class. This is my private variable. This is my deposit method, which is going to add the amount to this balance variable. Withdraw method, it is going to deduct the amount from the balance variable, and get balance method is going to retrieve the updated balance. Similarly, this is my abstract class vehicle. To implement abstraction, you can go with abstract class or you can go with interface. So here I'm only providing the method signature, not the implementation. This is my car class inherited from the vehicle class. They have to provide or they have to override the start method. So here we are providing implementation for the start method. This is another class hidden, which is inherited from the car class. This is nothing but inheritance. Inheritance means using the hidden class instance, I can invoke the start method as well as I can invoke this additional feature, that is play music. So this is the motorcycle, that is polymorphism behavior. So motorcycle is also inherited from the vehicle class. And here also we are providing this start method. Now let's see how we can consume this in our program class. So here you can see this is my bank account variable. I'm creating this, I'm calling this a deposit method and a withdraw method by adding some 500, by withdrawing some 200 rupees. Get balance method should return me 300. So here I'm creating an instance of hidden class, storing that instance in the vehicle variable, calling the start method. So at this point of time, this method is going to be called from the hidden class start method. Similarly, polymorphism behavior I want to show. So I'm creating the instance of a motorcycle, storing in the variable, right, vehicle variable, and then calling the start method. So this will call the motorcycle start method. And if you want to invoke any additional right feature, for example, here we are creating the hidden class instance storing in the my variable. So sorry, vehicle variable. Vehicle is the super class, right? So here you can see. So in the vehicle class, you can see only method which are exposed, those method I can call. But I cannot call this play music method directly using this vehicle variable. Then how we can invoke this? Now for that purpose, we need to typecast. So whatever your variable, that we need to typecast it to the appropriate type and call the placeholder method. So with these changes, run the application and you should see the data as expected. So let me run the application and show you the output. Yes, you can see balance is 3, car started, motorcycle started, and playing the music. Now, what benefit we will get with the OOPS concept? See, we'll get organized code. So this organized code we'll get with the help of encapsulation and abstraction. Encapsulation groups data and methods together, and abstraction hide the complexity. Reusability, definitely will achieve reusability with the concept of inheritance. Inheritance let allow us to reuse and extend existing classes, avoiding code duplication. Easy maintenance, encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism. Encapsulation hide the internal details. Abstraction simplifies the method usage. Polymorphism allows the same method to behave differently without changing or without affecting other part. Scalability we can achieve using inheritance and polymorphism. Inheritance allows new classes. Inheritance allows building new classes on existing classes. Polymorphism let you extend or change the behavior dynamically. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and follow for more quick tips related to programming.